Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Apni Pathshala. After a long time, today I am here and now I will start with the first chapter of your Geography class 9, chapter 1, India, Size and Location. India is one of the ancient civilizations in the world. It has achieved multifaceted socio-economic progress during the last 5 decades. It has moved forward, displaying remarkable progress in the field of agriculture, industry, technology, and overall economic development. India has also contributed significantly to the making of world history. So, India is one of the ancient civilizations in the whole world, and it has achieved the multifaceted socio-economic progress because of its diversity. We all know that India is known for its climate, its diversity, its cultures, and different types of weathers. You can see in north and in the four directions, north, south, east, west. You can see different types of landscapes, mountains, and rivers, lakes are there, and also the Great Himalayas that is protecting India from the other disasters or calamities is one of the main features and attraction that makes India more and more progressive. Means it has networks with all countries, and it is at the head of the Indian Ocean that it helps in the trade purposes of the countries of Europe with the countries of South Asia. It has moved forward, displaying remarkable progress. Yes, from the past experiences, India has also experienced different kinds of struggles. Many disasters, calamities are there, but it never actually have that kind of downfall. Like it has means it never experienced the ruins of its culture and its natural features. Then cultures and natural features are always at its top, and if they got a downfall, then there are many other features which contribute to the progress of India. It has also progressed in the field of agriculture, industry, technology, and overall economic development. So, from the past experiences till now, we can see that India has developed in many ways. Like in the sector of agriculture, that is primary sector, in the industrial sector, in the technological sector, as you all know that Bangalore is the Silicon Valley of India. Means it is called as the Silicon Valley because it has great contact with the other cyber centers of the whole world. So it represents India in higher levels also. India has also contributed significantly to the making of world history. So, in the making of world history, you will read it in later classes. You will read it in class 9 also, and more you will read it about more the contribution of India in world history more in class 12, because there you will get 3 books that in that all the chapters there will help you to understand how India has contributed to the world history and how it has given the different kinds of cultures and the ideas of different things, like in the agricultural sector, in the technological sector, in the industrial sector also. Means the whole world is actually means you can say that the whole world is based on the ideas of India only, because from India everything is invented. Even though it was invented by the foreigners, but it is invented from India, and many of our Indian scientists are also responsible for inventing these kind of things. Okay, so let us see about the location of India. India is a vast country lying entirely in the northern hemisphere. You can see in the figure 1.1 that this is India, and it is lying in the northern hemisphere. The mainland extends between latitudes 8 degree 4 minute north and 37 degree 6 minute north, and longitude 68 degree 7 minute north sorry, not 7 minute east and 97 degree 25 minute east. You have to memorize this in any way possible, because these four coordinates are very very important till your whole life actually. Means you wherever you go, means in geography you can see these MCQs will be available, that what are the latitudinal and longitudinal extension of India. Very very important. You can I will also make question answers on this, that what is latitudes and longitudes. It is also given in your exercises also, but you have to memorize these things. Without this you cannot, means these are the basics of geography. Means without these coordinates you cannot do anything. In later on, if you study more about geography, then these coordinates will help you to actually draw the map of India. But we will come to this later on, because these are only graduation levels. But now we will see what is next in the chapter. The Tropic of Cancer, 23 degree 30 minute north, divides the country into almost two equal parts. To the southeast and the southwest, the mainland lie the Andaman and Nicobar Islands and the Lakshadweep Islands in Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea respectively. Okay, find out the extent of these group of islands from the atlas. So the Tropic of Cancer, that is 23 degree 30 minute north, divides the country into two parts, and to the south two equal parts, means that is, one is northern part and another is southern part. And there are two island groups in the southeast and in the southwest of the country. Like in the southeast we have the Andaman and Nicobar Islands on the Bay of Bengal, and in the southwest we have Lakshadweep Islands in the Arabian Sea. So you can also check if you have atlas. Atlas is very important for geography students, because without atlas you cannot locate anything or any other places in maps. You will get all the help from atlas. So you can buy one atlas, and you can try to locate the group of islands on your atlas also. Okay, the box, do you know? The southernmost point of the Indira Point, got submerged under the sea water in 2004 during the tsunami. So the southernmost point of the Indian Union, that is the Indira Point, is actually located in the Nicobar group of islands on Bay of Bengal. It is the southernmost point, but it got submerged under the sea water during the tsunami of 2004. That was a very devastating tsunami of that India has experienced, because many lives were lost and many important things like this Indira Point and many other island groups were submerged in the water actually. So the size. The land mass has an area of 3.28 million square kilometer. India's total areas accounts for about 2.4% of the total geographical area of the world. From figure 1.2, it is clear that India is the 7th largest country of the world. India has a land boundary of about 15,200 km, and the total length of the coastline of the mainland, including Andaman and Nicobar and Lakshadweep, is 7,516.6 km. So actually this chapter is whole informative, means in every line you will get informations about India's area extension, India's coordinates, etc. But you have to remember all these things, because these things are very very important for your MCQs, and these things will help you to means these MCQs you will get in every competitive exams. So you have to remember this, no matter what, but you have to remember this. So the landmass of India has an area of 3.28 million square kilometer. Just write it on your mind that the landmass area of India is 3.28 square kilometer, and India's total area accounts for about 2.4% of the total geographical area in the whole world. So in the whole geographical area of the world, India accounts only 2.4%. Also write it in your mind. And here is a graph given in figure 1.2, that what are the areas, means there are 7 countries: Russia, Canada, USA, China, Brazil, Australia and India. So you can see that India is in the 7th number, So India is actually the 7th largest country in the whole world. Means on the basis of area, but on the basis of population, now it is actually, I think, in number 1 position. So leave the population part, just focus on the area, because you will read it later on that how population has increased and the factors also in class 11. So India, according to area, India is in the 7th number, and India has a land boundary of 15,200 kilometers. So India has a land boundary of 15,200 kilometers. Just remember this, means these are very important. Means in this chapter you will get many 1 marks and short questions, and you have to remember all this. And the coastline of the mainland, including Andaman, Nicobar and Lakshadweep, means the coastline including the islands is 7,516.6 kilometers. Just write these things on your mind like crystal clear, means you will get everywhere these questions, means these are very very important. India is bounded by the Yangfold Mountains in the northwest, north and northeast. South of about 22° north latitude, it begins to taper and extend towards the Indian Ocean, dividing it into 2 seas, the Arabian Sea on the west and the Bay of Bengal on its east. Look at figure 1.3 and note that the latitudinal and longitudinal extent of the mainland is about 30 degrees. Despite this fact, the east-west extent appears to be smaller than the north-south extent. So, India is as I told, that India is bounded by the Himalayas, the Yangfold mountain of Himalayas in the northwest, and in the north and northeast, means the whole northwest, north and northeast is actually covered with the Himalayan group of mountains. And to the south, it actually 22° north latitude, and it begins to taper, means you can see from the map, here given below, that to the south, the outline of India is actually began to taper, means it is actually getting into a triangle shape. So getting into a triangle shape, it then joins with the Indian Ocean and dividing the 2 seas, dividing the 2 seas in the west and in the east. In the east we have Bay of Bengal, and in the west we have Arabian Sea. So from the figure 1.3, let's see from the figure 1.3. Yes, the extension from the figure, we can see that the north-south extension is much less than the east-west extension. Okay, let us see why this happens. From Gujarat to Arunachal Pradesh, there is a time lag of 2 hours. Hence, time along the standard meridian of India passing through Mirzapur in Uttar Pradesh is taken as the standard time for the whole country. The latitudinal extent influences the duration of day and night as one moves from north to south. So, it is actually very prominent because in the countries of east direction actually experience sunrise more earlier than the countries in the west. So in India, we can see that Arunachal Pradesh has seen the sunrise 2 hours earlier than Gujarat. Means Gujarat is actually 2 hours lagging behind Arunachal Pradesh, but the time remains same. We will see it later on that why the time remains same. Because of the standard meridian of India, that is 82° 30' east, that passes through the state of Uttar Pradesh in the city of Mirzapur, and is actually taken as the standard time of the whole country. Means if if Gujarat watches sunrise or sunset 2 hours lagging behind Arunachal Pradesh, but the time will be remain same. Means in Arunachal Pradesh, if the people are seeing sunset in 5 p.m. suppose, I don't know what is the time, but let us assume that if the people of Arunachal Pradesh is watching sunset in 5 p.m, then the people of Gujarat will watch sunset in 7 p.m. But you can see that the time will remain same. The time will not actually, means what happens when the sun actually sets, the time is different for all the countries, but here it is totally wrong. Means in 7 p.m. they will get to see the sunset. They will not get to see the sunset in 5 p.m. only, because the sun is setting in Arunachal Pradesh only, but Gujarat is lagging behind 2 hours. So it is very prominent that time will not change, but they can see sunrise 2 hours after Arunachal Pradesh. The latitudinal extent actually influences the duration of day and night as one moves from south to north. Yes, the latitudinal extent is actually responsible for the duration of day and night when one moves from north to south. And these things, you just remember these things, because short questions can come that who is dependent for the duration of day and night. Then you have to answer that the answer is latitudes. India and the world. The Indian landmass has a central location between the East and West and the West Asia. India is a southward extension of the Asian continent, and the Trans-Indian Ocean routes which connects the countries of Europe in the west and the countries of East Asia provide a strategic central location to India. Note that the Deccan Peninsula protrudes into the Indian Ocean, thus helping India to establish close contact with West Asia, Africa and Europe from the western coast, and the Southeast and East Asia from the eastern coast. No other country has a long coastline on the Indian Ocean as India has an indeed. It is India's eminent position in the Indian Ocean which justifies the naming of an ocean after it. So now the topic is India and the world. Means this topic is actually about the connections that India has with the whole world. India has a central location between the East and West Asia. India is the southward extension of the Asian continent. Yes, the whole Asian continent is actually extended towards the mostly extended towards the east and west direction, but to the south direction it has India on its place, and India and this connects the whole Asian continent with the Indian Ocean routes which connect them with Europe and other countries of South Asia, and which also provide a strategic central location to India. And you have to note that the Deccan Peninsula protrudes into the Indian Ocean. Means it is in such a way that it actually getting mixed with the Indian Ocean, and it actually helped India to establish close contact with the countries of West Asia, Africa and Europe from the western coast, and Southeast and East Asia from the eastern coast. So from the western coast India actually developed its contacts with the countries of Africa, Europe and West Asia, and to the eastern coast it has developed the connections with Southeast and East Asia, and no other country has such a long coastline on Indian Ocean, and that India has an indeed. So India is actually very important to for the connections between the countries of Africa, West Asia, Europe and Southeast Asia and East Asia. India is actually serving as the middle point of these countries, and the Indian Ocean is actually named after India because of its central location on it. Okay, so here is the map. You can see that the coordinates are given and the standard meridian is also given. The distance of west to east it is also given, and from north to south it is also given. And see, here are the international highway of trade and commerce. These things are given in a very small amount, but you will get to know more about this in your class 11 and 12, because there you will read the means more connections and more routes that connects India with the whole world. Here it is only the map given that what are the routes, but you will know more about this later on. India's contacts with the world have continued through ages, but her relationships through the land routes are much older than her maritime contacts. The various passes across the mountains in the north have provided passages to the ancient travelers, while the oceans restricted such interactions for a long time. These routes have contributed in the exchange of ideas and commodities. Since ancient times, the ideas of the Upanishads and the Ramayana, the stories of Panchatantra, the Indian numerals and the decimal system thus could reach many parts of the world. The spices, muslin and other merchandise were taken from India to different countries. On the other hand, the influence of Greek sculpture and architectural styles of domes and minarets from West Asia can be seen in different parts of our country. So, India's contact with the world have continued from ages. Means it has developed its contacts with the whole world from the earlier times. Now it got progress, but it has contacts from the earlier times. But the relationships through land routes are much older than her maritime contacts. Means the sea routes and airline routes are recently developed, but the land routes are mostly used because in the earlier times there was no ships or no airplanes that you can instantly deliver the things from one country to another. So the land routes of India are much older than its maritime contacts. The various passes across the mountains in the north have helped many ancient travelers and also served as the passages while the oceans restricted such interactions for a long time. So what happens in the earlier times, the people are actually not aware of the wind direction, the medium that how they will travel through oceans and seas. So in the earlier times people generally use the road contacts, whether they have to walk the whole way, but they generally prefer land routes because they know that in land routes no one can harm them. If anyone harms them, then they can handle it. But if they don't know the coordinates or direction of ocean and then went with a boat or a ship in the ocean, then it is quite difficult for them to cover the whole road. And if you know, the actual reason is that if anyone travels in the ship, then the health condition also deteriorates, because health conditions is very important. And in water, if you travel in a ship, then your health will also get deteriorated because of the conditions of the wind as well as the direction, which is very important. And these routes also have contributed in the exchange of ideas and commodities since the ancient times. The ideas of the Upanishads, Vedas, Ramayanas, Panchatantras and the Indian numerals and decimal system, which is very very important. You have to remember that what are the types of ideas that have been exchanged with the countries from India, means that has been taken from the countries to from India, like the Upanishads, the Vedas, the Ramayana, the stories of Panchatantra, the Indian numeral system, and in this Indian numeral and decimal system, the whole world is based on these numeral and decimal system of India. And the spices, muslins and other merchandise were taken from India to different countries. So the people of other countries never know how to eat spices, or they don't have much knowledge about the clothes or the types of fabric that the clothes have. So they all got the knowledge and everything, means food varieties etc., all from India. And on the other hand, the Greek sculptures and other architectural styles of domes and minarets have also inspired the sculptors of India that they have seen in the West Asia, and we can see that these type of minarets and domes in our countries also. Now, India's neighbors. India occupies an important strategic position in South Asia. India has 28 states and 8 union territories. This has changed now. India has 28 states, but 9 union territories. Yes, 9 union territories, because Kashmir and Ladakh is added now, but you will only remember the recent information, not these information, because these are old books and you don't have to remember this. You can check in Google once that what are the actual number, but I am sure that there are 28 states and 9 union territories. If you have doubt, you can check. India shares its land boundaries with Pakistan and Afghanistan in the northwest, China, Tibet, Nepal and Bhutan in the north, and Myanmar and Bangladesh in the east. Our southern neighbors across the sea consist of the two island countries, namely Sri Lanka and Maldives. Sri Lanka is separated from India by a narrow channel of sea formed by the Park Strait and the Gulf of Mannar, while Maldives Islands are situated to the south of Lakshadweep Islands. India has had a strong geographical and historical links with her neighbors. Look at the physical map of Asia in your atlas and note how India extends apart from the rest of the Asia. So, India has 28 states and 9 union territories, and it shares land boundaries with many countries. Like in the northwest, it shares the boundaries with Pakistan and Afghanistan, and in the north, it shares the boundaries with China, Nepal, and Bhutan. In the east, there are Myanmar and Bangladesh, and in the southern neighbors are two island countries, that is Sri Lanka and Maldives. Sri Lanka is separated from India by a narrow channel of sea formed by the Park Strait and Gulf of Mannar. So there are two narrow channels that separate Sri Lanka and India, that is Park Strait and Gulf of Mannar, while Maldives Islands are situated to the south of the Lakshadweep Islands. So you can see here Maldives is actually to the south of the Lakshadweep Islands, and India has had a strong historical links with our neighbors, because actually trade state had taken place through all these countries, and India is actually the middle of all these. So India has contributed a lot in the trade with these countries. You can check in the map that Afghanistan and Pakistan in the northwest, China, Nepal and Bhutan in the north, Bangladesh and Myanmar in the east, and in the south there are Sri Lanka and Maldives. So you can you have to remember all these, that in which directions which countries are India's neighbors, and the narrow channels that separate Sri Lanka and India, that is the Park Strait and Gulf of Mannar. And Lakshadweep is situated to the south of the Maldives is situated to the south of the Lakshadweep Islands. Please remember all these things, and this chapter is actually very informative, and you have to remember all the informations. Here it is given the extension between the east and west, that is 2933 km from the run of Kutch to Arunachal Pradesh, and here the distance from north to south is 3214 km from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. You have to remember this no matter what, but you will remember this. So see here, a box is given. Do you know, since the opening of the Suez Canal in 1869, India's distance from Europe has been reduced by 7,000 km. So let us see in the world map that why this has been made. So you can see that in much earlier time, we can see that if travelers have to travel from Europe to India, then they have to cross the Atlantic Sea, then they have to cross the Atlantic Sea, that is by the side of Africa, and then they have to cross Indian Ocean, then they can reach India. So the Suez Canal is very important factor, because Suez Canal is actually present here. You can see Suez Canal is actually present here. So Suez Canal is very important, and it has been established in the year 1869, and it has reduced the distance of India and Europe by 7,000 kilometers. Means the time that has been taken to cross the country of Europe through Atlantic Ocean and Indian Ocean and to India, it has been reduced by 7,000 kilometers because of Suez Canal. So Suez Canal is very important to developed more contacts between India and Europe. Also here there is a, do you know, before 1947 there were two types of states in India, the provinces and the princely states. The provinces were ruled directly by British officials who were appointed by the viceroy. Princely states were ruled by local hereditary rulers who acknowledged sovereignty in return for local autonomy. So it has in you are reading this in a box like do you know, but in 11 and 12 you will read more about princely states, their division, their names, the rulers, and the demands of the people of the princely states. So before 1947 there are two types of states in India, that is the provinces and the princely states. The provinces are actually governed by the rulers, means that are ruled by directly by the British officials who are appointed by the viceroy. But the princely states are actually controlled by the British rulers but are ruled by the local rulers who acknowledge sovereignty in return for local autonomy. Means the princely states have hereditary rulers, means generation wise the rulers are getting changed. Means if now the ruler is the father, then after some years the ruler will be the son. So in this way the rulers of princely states are getting changed, but the provinces have rulers that are directly selected by the viceroy of British. So here our chapter ends. In the next video I will share with you the exercises and the question answers, and I will also give you some short answer type questions and long answer type questions which will help you to understand the facts of these chapters. So till then, stay tuned, and I hope you are enjoying the videos and understanding the facts through my videos. So if you have if you are getting help, then please let me know in the comment section. If you have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section, or you can mail me in my personal mail that is actually given in the description box. And if you have liked this video, then hit the like button, share it with your friends and families, and do subscribe to my channel. Thank you.